Let absolute value of z1 minus 8 minus 2i is less than or equal to 1, and this absolute value is less than or equal to 2, where z1 and z2 are complex numbers. And I'm required to find the minimum value of the absolute value of this difference. Now, let's go ahead and think about that. So absolute value of z1, and let's write it as minus of 8 plus 2i is less than or equal to 1. And what about the next one? That's going to be z2 minus of 2 minus 6i is less than or equal to 2. So what this is saying is 8 plus 2i is a complex number. In the complex plane, it has a real part of 8 and imaginary part of 2. So maybe something like that. And then we want to look at absolute value of the difference, which means the distance between z1 and this should be less than or equal to 1. So I'm looking at this circle of radius 1. So all the complex numbers that are in this circle, including the boundary, will be distance of less than or equal to 1. And similarly, I'm looking at this 2 minus 6i. So 2 and then negative 6 real part, imaginary part. And so the distance between z2 and that should be less than or equal to 2. So this time the radius is 2. It includes all the points in this circle. So this has radius 1 and that has radius 2. And what do I want? I want the minimum value of the difference between those 2 points, which means if I were to connect the centers, so let's notice that this distance is 6 and this is 2, so that's an 8. And then this distance is going from x2 to x equal to 8, so that is 6. So if this is 6 and 8, that means this is going to be 10. So if this is 10, and notice this radius is 2, this radius is 1, so this would have to be 7. So if you look at this point and that point, it will be at a distance of 7, and that's the minimum value.